Hi, this is Nanditha. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. How's your day been so far?
It's good.
I know that I called you for an interview today. Hopefully, I can disturb any of your plans for the weekend. Today, what we are planning to do is we are just trying to understand what neuroaffirmative parenting is, and Mrs. Nanditha over here has a few answers to a few questions that we had put together to make sure that the audience that we are reaching out to understands what neuroaffirmative parenting is as of such. So I would just like to start off with understanding what neuroaffirmative parenting is. So when you do hear the term neuroaffirmative, what does it mean to you?
Basically, I think it's like most of us try to wait for a day where you want to start living. Once your kid is fixed, but if we need to accept their strengths and challenges and how unique they are, and start living today.
Exactly.
If you have not already started, do not wait for a day when you want to start living.
So you're saying basically try to embrace every single moment that you have with your kid.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life with your child as well. So that is a beautiful aspect that I would say. I think a lot of parents need to hear that as well, because they wait for their kid, to reach a certain age and then they start living their life as a then. But yeah, you need to embrace every single second that you have with your kid. So I feel that's beautiful. How would you describe the idea of neuroaffirmative parenting, in your own words? Like, does it feel different from any other parenting approaches that you have read about or, come across in your life?
I mean, there's no bookish like parenting books as such, right? But mainly I think it's first we need to understand our kids. So once we understand, it will help us scale our expectations.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So once our expectations are scaled, we are less stressed. And the moment we are less stressed, our kids are less stressed.
Absolutely. So that has a big impact on them as well.
So yeah, and we would end up being more tolerant to their imperfections, and that helps a lot.
As people say, perfectly imperfect. There's no imperfections as such. Everybody has their own strengths, I would say. So you just have to focus on that and probably move forward. So yeah, another last thing, in your everyday life, how do you see the neuroaffirmative parenting, shape the way that you connect with your child?
Something we maybe fail to understand is they strive a lot to make us happy.
Absolutely, that is completely true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if our expectations are too high and they know they cannot meet it, that's a huge stress on them. Yeah. So if they know we accept them as what they are and we are not having insane expectations out of them, that helps them a lot to in their small ways they can make us happy.
Yeah.
And that helps us connect.
That helps us, yeah. So basically, reaching small goals and basically, trying to make sure that every single thing that they do for you, you appreciate that as well. So yeah, they don't feel stressed as such.
They can vibe or they can sense our vibes.
They can sense your vibes.
So then it's important that we have it not trying to show it to them deep in our hearts.
Absolutely.
We should have that internalized.
Absolutely, yes.
So yeah, they will sense it.
They will sense it.
Yeah, if we are happy, that will make them happy.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we'll start off with your parenting journey with your child. So may I ask, ma'am, how old is your child?
She's 16.
She's 16, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you wouldn't want to disclose the name, that's completely okay. But because if I could know her name, I could probably ask you the question in a more personal way. So
her name is Gayatri.
Gayatri, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you share a little bit of your journey as a as a parent so far? Like, what are the moments where you felt most proud about what you have done as a parent with your child? What? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So early years, definitely it's the stage of denial, acceptance, and everything. So like any parent, even gone through it. And once we achieve that state, then life becomes more manageable. But till age 10, she was a black box to me.
Okay.
So because I tried to understand her, like, I mean, to some extent I did understand, but then age 10 is when a miracle happened in our life, when she started communicating through typing.
Okay.
So since then it's like knowing her, and like there was an outflow of her thoughts and what she's been like in a dungeon that she calls, and then her way of coming out of it. It was totally like she typed and typed and typed. So through that, like knowing her was huge. And few things about her, like again as a human being, how empathetic she is. That was like definitely one proud moment. Another one is like she's not zero. There's a lot of strengths in her. She had a beautiful language. She was strong at math. She had some like brilliant strengths of reading people's mind, and in the sense understanding people. And she would have her own ways of counseling sometimes herself and me. So those were like definitely
beautiful moments that you would say. Yeah. So did she come up with this? When she started typing, was it something that she took upon herself, or like was it something that you thought that it could be another way of communicating herself? So did you help her with going to type, when she's typing and stuff?
I think just like multiple jigsaw puzzle pieces that aligned. Few of folks in her life, her teachers, her therapist, who helped her to get there. And once she got onto it, it wasn't like me asking any questions. It was like just she wanting to talk. I mean, every day she would pick some topic that's related, and she would start talking about it. And it was also huge to understand that she had dreams, she had interests. That's something I used to worry a lot. I mean, how can I make her happy? I mean, she seemed to be not interested in anything that like a neurotypical kid would be interested in. But then she too had her dreams, she had her wishes and interests. So that was also very good.
That's great. Again, so if another parent comes up to you asking where to start for neuroaffirmative parenting, what would you tell them?
I would say start loving yourself, start loving your kid, start loving life.
I mean, as basic as that may sound, that is actually the only way that you would be able to connect with your kid and be able to communicate with them, and to be able to make sure that everyone in the family is happy and all good to do. So as simple as that may sound, I think that is the only way that you could probably go ahead and move forward with this. Yeah, so that is absolutely great. So if you would know, what is like one key idea or a principle of neuroaffirmative parenting that every parent should know about when it comes to parenting your kids?
Again, I think one thing that might help us again to understanding our kid, because once we understand them, see the questions that arise in our mind is like, why are they doing something that we didn't expect them to do, or why are they not doing something that we expect them to do, right? So that question keeps bothering us, but like if we start understanding them, I mean, I think that it all falls according, I mean, what I've learned is like into two big categories. Definitely their sensory needs are different. So when I say that, like again, that sometimes like I just walk with her on like within our community, and there's like a cuckoo bird that is just crying, and then she literally, I mean, it's like when we say sensory needs, it is a physical pain that she feels. It's not any irritation. It is not any irritation. So we all think when it's sensory need, it is like, oh, it's like some irritation, intolerance. Why can't they just tolerate it? But it's huge physical pain that we cannot imagine that they could.
Big gap in between, what a neurotypical child might feel with the sensory needs and a neurodivergent kid as well. So it cannot be something that is relatable, is what you're saying. That
Correct.
needs to be accepted first.
Yeah. So once we understand that, and like then we know to deal with situations, right? So we don't expect them to like be in that situation and handle it. Either wear some earbuds or headphones that would help them, or maybe take them away from
the
from the
situation,
setting.
yes.
Yeah. So we can't fix the surroundings always for
Correct,
them.
correct.
So we might have to learn to deal with it. And one another thing that I've learned is like, say if you want to like extend apraxia or even what stress can cause them.
Correct.
Simple like they say they cannot control their body.
Okay. Yeah.
So they want to do something, but their body doesn't let them do it, or they don't want to do something, but their body
goes ahead and
does it. So it's not something that we can imagine and understand. It's like, I mean, it seems like not realistic.
Correct.
But one example that actually made me realize that it is, I don't know if anyone of us have learned bicep. So early days of when we try to get the balance, if we see an obstacle in the front, as much as we don't want to go to it,
right towards
our
it.
hand takes us
Correct.
right towards
Correct.
it. So that one moment is kind of like their life.
Okay, that's a beautiful example.
In every aspect of what they try to do, that's what they mean by that they do not have control over their body. So this is the only example I could think of from my life where I felt that helplessness, but they live with that helplessness almost throughout their life. So that's also something we need to understand. So it's like, than seeing them like as a bad kid or like, why don't you tolerate this situation, it is their helplessness. So but when I say that, like, I don't want us to accept, I mean, there is a limit to which we can accept.
Correct.
So like I had a doctor who has asked me, if your kid's sensory need is to walk on a fire, would you let them?
No, absolutely not.
Right?
So, yes.
So there are limits, right? I mean, if it affects their safety or
Correct.
anyone else's safety, see, those are things we don't have a choice but to control them. And maybe everyone's limits of tolerance, everything is, sensitivity is subjective, all different, right? But like, say if I were to go take her to a fun set, a fun party or anything, but she's having a bad day and a meltdown. It's my choice of like, letting her be there and have it, but I would rather, it's a fun setting where people are there to have fun, and she's going to spoil the mood. I might have like rather take her out of that setting than like, saying that the world should accept
Yes.
it. But again, you being like loving yourself aspect of it. If it is a very personal life event for yourself, it's totally guilt free that we need to have like a caregiver be with her, and then you be in that setting if it's very important for you in a personal front. So what I'm saying is parents should not like stop living because that's what even she wants me to do. So she's typed and told me that, and that's what she also would prefer. So but I mean, do some accommodations of like whether she is happily part of it. See, if she's doing some fidgeting or like being weird and all of that, I'm open to it. Like, we should stop living saying that what the world will think.
Correct.
Right? So that much tolerance
you would need to build, and you would need to keep it.
But maybe not to the extreme of,
where you would want people to accommodate everyone in the room to accommodate.
Exactly.
So
I
basically,
mean, draw your line.
drawing your line is a
but
very
exactly what
important aspect, is what you say.
Right.
That's great, ma'am. Yeah. So right now, I just want to ask you your message to the public as of such about neuroaffirmative parenting, and if there's one thing that you want parents to take away from this interview about neuroaffirmative parenting or about neurodivergency as such, what would it be?
I mean, kind of touched upon it. It's
previous point, just keeping your boundaries and keeping
accept
them.
that. Maybe to the rest of the world. On one side, like we want them to understand and accept that they do have like limitations or whatever, like this, that's preventing them to be what we expect them to be. But on the other hand, the society should also understand that they also crave certain things that a normal kid would crave. It's like, the attention. I mean, do not ignore them. That's not what they want.
I feel
right?
like another important thing would be to not treat them as somebody that, as an outsider perspective, because it is not what you expect.
Correct. Acknowledge them as a normal kid.
As a normal kid.
Yeah,
Yes,
as a normal
kid.
Yeah, normal
Yes.
kid. But then, do not have like a bit of tolerance would definitely help.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's great, man. I think that you answered my next question as well. How do you think society can create a better environment for neurodivergent kids as well? To be able to accept them as normal kids, and have a little bit of a tolerance because they aren't neurotypical as such, or what you expect
Do
them
not
to be.
give them over accommodations or like treat them like a special
Correct,
kid,
correct.
but like as much as possible, like in your mind, be tolerant to them, but see if you can make them feel that they're treated like a typical kid with respect to the attention they want.
So yes, absolutely, got it. If you had one chance to share one powerful message about neurodivergency or NAP as such, what would you say?
Okay, so then it would match the serenity prayer kind of. It's like have God grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change, courage to change anything I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Right? I mean, it's a well-known prayer, but then that's exactly what we need. I mean, there are certain things that we need to accept that we will not be able to change and embrace it. Right? Certain things
Can be changed.
Yeah,
as well.
can be changed, and for that, stand with them, fight with them where they want to like. A long-term goal for every parent is like also the life after them, right? So make sure they can live a safe life, independent life as much as they can, and be happy. And for that happiness, for few at least, it's that self satisfaction or feeling the self-worth. So if we can build some skill that would give them that self-worth.
That's self-independence basically that they would,
Or even do something like for others, right? Not just taking care of yourself, but something for others too. So some self-worth. So those are what like actually Guy also craves. Help them get there.
And basically, I got your point, ma'am. That is actually beautiful. Your choice of words are actually great, ma'am. That is a very powerful message, honestly, to be able to, have the courage to make sure that you give your child what they need and make sure that they will be independent as a parent as well, as you said. Is there a small practice or habit you started at home that has a big impact on your child's happiness or growth, ma'am?
I think like everyone, even I've tried many of those, but frankly speaking, nothing has stuck. But I think once again, if you internalize the fact that all your acceptance and that love for life, right, the zest and everything, then it's any action of yours would be reflection of what you believe.
Okay.
So that is what would help them also, small things. It may not be consistent, it may be random here and there, but it would reflect what you believe, and that should help
So you're
them.
saying there's no such one thing
At
that
least
you
it's
do.
not.
Yes,
It's not
at least for you.
Yeah.
But there are multiple things that you do.
Situational, right?
Situational nature.
So once it's always a reflection of what your inner mind is.
So as long as you know what you have to do, the actions that you take are going to have to be aligned to what you believe in. That's great. So through this entire journey, ma'am, you said post 10 is when Gayatri started communicating with you through typing, and that is when you realized about a lot of things and you acknowledged a lot of things. So through that entire journey, what have you discovered about yourself as a parent? And if there is something that you could help other parents with who are struggling with the same issues, or if they have any other queries that you could answer.
I think probably just see, I was personally someone who had a very adamant mind and who wants things to happen the way I want it to happen. So it she actually transformed me, I should say, to be a bit more again, like accept things. So even when life later on threw challenges at me, that would have been harder for me to accept.
If you were in the state of mind that you were in.
Yeah. So yeah, that openness to accept things that I
And the
cannot.
courage to change as
Yeah,
well.
and that I cannot change, right? I mean, that acceptance is something I think what I learned, and that did help me throughout my life. So that's all for me. Yeah.
That's great. Now, thank you so much for opening up and talking. This is a really great thing because we would want other parents also to be aware of how to, parent their child in the right way possible. And every parent has their own tactics or has their own, things up their sleeve to be able to parent their kid, but they would be struggling at some point. So I feel like this interview, you've answered a lot of questions that would help a lot of them. So thank you so much for for giving me this opportunity to be able to talk to you about this.
Thanks a lot, Nitin. And yeah, I do want to personally thank people in my life who have helped me reach here, be it friends, family, or the entire support system, like doctors, therapists, psychologists, teachers, mentors, everyone who's come across. Some who've been with me for long, who are still with me now, few who have hopped in and hopped out, but who still left an impression. Yeah, but few of them are like my guiding stars or my pillar of strengths. I'm not naming anyone here.
Absolutely,
So that
yes,
I don't want to be like missing out on anyone. But yeah, few whom I go to when I feel low, just to talk. Few I go to when I'm like seek clarity. Am I on the right path? This is what I should do. So yeah, huge gratitude to everyone in my life.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.